Have we sufficient audience?
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all on the behalf of Monomosami Services. Today we have with us a very special guest in form of Mr. Santosh Kumar. He is an engineering graduate from NIT Patna, and he began his professional career from Tata Motor Jamshedpur as a graduate engineer trainee. He worked in a couple of brownfield and greenfield projects, including international project which was named as Tata Marco Loco project with Brazil. And further, he completed his postgraduate diploma in management from XLRL Jamshedpur in 2015. He has specialization in operation and marketing management, and he has worked in different roles and functions such as vendor development, sourcing and planning, technology transfer and operations, and many others. Furthermore, he has established another greenfield project for GE Transportation, a Wabtec company for manufacturing of diesel locomotives in Bihar for Indian Railways. And currently, he is working uh, as a plant quality leader, looking after the overall quality of locomotives and then handling it over to the Indian Railways. So I welcome you, Mr. Santosh Kumar, for the talk today. And today he is going to talk about how does quality matter in the industry, and being at a in a respectable position in the industry. I think you will be able to clarify doubts of many of our participants, and as well as looking forward to a very informative session. So I welcome you again, Santosh ji. You may begin the session. Yeah, your screen is visible now. Yeah, you are audible. You may begin.
Yes, sorry. Hear me now?
Yeah. You are audible.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Thanks, Bhupesh, for the introduction. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see your screen, but yeah, we
There is
can
no
see it.
content.
Yeah, right now there is no content.
Oh, let me try to share that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's now visible.
Okay. Yep. So once again, good evening, everyone. Sorry, there was some issue in my tab related to display and all. So I hope now my screen is also visible and you all. Okay. So I just wanted to speak about quality in the day. I have prepared a couple of pages. What I thought probably would help you in your in whatever you do actually, because quality is a concept which is used by everyone, whether you are at your home, you are at your job, you are at your school. Quality is something we all know, we all are familiar with, and that's the reason I have chosen the topic, and I think this will be helpful to all of you. And if you find anything, uh, if you're not able to understand any point or anything, you can just jot it down, and maybe at the end of the session I'll take all your questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Completely. Yeah, you can.
Okay. Yep, fine. So I thought of starting this session by just asking a question. What is quality? We all know the word quality, right? So what do you mean by quality? So I know this will not be much interactive because we all sit in a different place. Had it been face to face, probably it would have been more interactive. But, I try to explain what is the meaning of quality first. So quality is nothing but the fitness for use of a product or services as prescribed by the user. So we all know that we all buy products, okay? We go to market, we try to buy a mobile phone, we try to buy we buy television or whatever product. Coming to services, we buy services as well. For example, we go and meet doctor, we tell them our problem, doctor is selling his services or her services. We send our kids to school, school is selling the services, right? So everything there has to be a quality. Now basically there are two things in quality. One is the specification, right? You can see I have highlighted these 2 points in my first page. That means quality has two components in it. Component number one, there has to be an optimal set of features. Features means specification, which will satisfy the user. That is called customer's basic requirement. The another component is complete freedom from deficiencies. That is called customer satisfaction. So in every product and services, these two things are important in with respect to quality. Number one, it should meet the specification. Number two, it should be free from all the deficiencies or what we call defects, right? So I hope this is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Now I am moving on to little bigger topic now, which is called total quality, right? So what's the difference between quality and total quality? Is there really any difference? Yes. Total quality is a little bigger subject than quality. Now how it works? The truth here is any organization, be it manufacturing organization, service organization, any industry that cannot consistently deliver outstanding quality to customer unless the upstream processes that built in quality into the output are not themselves appropriate and error free. Now, what do we mean by upstream processes? So I'll take one example of my industry, that is manufacturing industry. Okay, so in my current role, I'm making a locomotive, right? So there are a lot of processes which goes into assembly of a locomotive, right? So upstream processes means I'm standing at any processes. Let's say I'm standing towards the end of the product. I'm seeing a product which is about to finish. Finish means all the processes has been completed. So any processes prior to, I mean, the beginning start of the processes is called upstream processes, and downstream processes are processes which goes after my inspection or from where I'm looking the product. So upstream processes and downstream processes. So if I'm standing at the end of the product line and I just want to see the quality. So quality cannot be ascertained unless and until all the upstream processes are perfect, right? I'll go.
So your voice is not audible. I think the audio got disconnected. We'll wait for some time for Santosh ji to join again. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions, they can put it in the chat box, and in the end, we can answer them.
Bhupesh, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Your voice is audible now.
Yeah, sorry, there was some network issue, so it got
It's
disconnected.
fine. You can
I'm again
connect
going
again.
to share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm again going to share my screen.
Yeah, your screen is visible now.
Yeah. So I was talking about quality. Okay. In short, we also call it TQM, that is total quality management. So TQM is nothing but a set of systematic activities carried out by the entire organization to effectively and efficiently achieve company objective so as to products and services with a level of quality that satisfy customer at the appropriate time and place. So as I was saying, now total quality is a little bigger subject than quality, wherein the entire organization has to be involved, and it has to be a systematic activities, but ultimately it should satisfy the customer needs. Okay, so there is a thin line between customer need and customer want. Okay, I'll touch upon this piece now. See, the customer need is, for example, I have designed a pen to write. Okay, so that pen has to do its work, right? That means it has to write on the piece of paper very clearly. That's the intended need of that pen. But now customer will come to picture here. Hey, I want this pen to be a little more stylish. I want this pen to be with cap, or probably I want, as a customer, I don't want this pen to have cap. So that is something called customer want. Okay, but what was the basic intent of the design of this pen? The basic intent was to write. So that's called the need. And if my design is in such a way that the pen is able to write nicely, it's something called customer need. That needs has to be met, right? Then the customer will say, hey, customer need is met, so I am satisfied, right? Again, it's not customer delight here, I'm just saying customer satisfaction. Okay, coming to total quality definition now. So total quality is defined as a performance leadership in meeting customer requirement by doing the right the first time. Okay, that means if I have designed my processes in such a way that it should be defect free and it should meet the customer need, not for the first time, every time. That's how the total quality comes in picture. In the context of total quality, all those who interface with the organization are customer, and hence all processes to deliver quality and everyone has to be involved. There is no other way to satisfy the customer. So what I'm trying to say, in total quality thing, the entire organization need to be focused on the quality product, not only few people. The entire leadership team has to be involved, that how I can give defect customer. That's the ultimate goal of total quality.
Your voice
So
is breaking in
another
between a
thing,
little.
sorry Bhupesh, what did you say?
I think your voice is breaking a little in between.
That may be because of poor connectivity.
Okay, I guess we'll make it up. If someone has any doubt, maybe he or she can ask in the end regarding anything.
Yes, please. If someone is having any doubt at this till this point, you can ask the question.
Or else we can take it in the end. If because of audio problem, someone like skips anything, he or she can ask in the end.
Yeah, definitely. And at the end, I'm going to share this page to all of you.
Okay, yeah,
And
that would be
at
great.
any point of time, if you feel that anything is not clear, I'll be happy to take the questions.
I guess you can continue.
So shall I move on, Bhupesh?
Yeah. I think you can continue.
Okay. So another point here in this quality versus total quality is what we call is small q and big Q. Okay. The small or little q signifies the traditional approach to the management of quality. It does not focus on the, it does focus only on the output and not on the processes of delivering the output. Whereas the big Q, what I said is the total quality, signifies the total quality approach focuses on the result and the processes that deliver the result. Such a focus helps to make organization more customer oriented. So what I'm trying to say here is, see, the traditional approach of quality says, hey, I need to just focus on my output. Okay, means whatever I am giving at the end of the day, any product or any service, that has to be defect free. That is what we are saying here, small q, or that is what is called traditional approach of quality. However, the new concept is, the way I'm making a product or the way I'm delivering any service, that process itself has to meet the quality standard. I hope this is clear to all. So one traditional approach says that I have to meet the specification at the end of my product. For example, in your context, I can take one example, like let's say I'm writing anything. I think there are a lot of people who writes here in magazine or anywhere. So what people do at the end, people will see your writing, right? So it has to be defect free. Okay, that is called traditional approach of quality. The second approach is the best approach would be, the way I am writing, means the way I am selecting the words, the way I am designing, the way I am putting my thoughts, because ultimately these are going to deliver, isn't it? So if I am focusing on that, that is something called bigger Q here, or total quality in your context. Okay, so again I'm saying the traditional approach says at the end of the product, that product should meet the customer need. Okay, and it should be defect free. However, the new concept says the entire process of manufacturing or the entire process of delivering any services has to be defect free, and that should meet the customer need. This is what is the new approach. Hope I'm clear here. So that can be explained by another model, which I have tried to show in this page here. Okay. So you can see in this page, total quality is on top. And then after second level, we have customer satisfaction. And then we have involvement of management, process, systems, people. And at the bottom, we have continuous improvement. Okay. So for any company to survive, there has to be a continuous improvement. Okay. We cannot survive by selling one product to the market, the same product, or selling the same services to the market. There has to be a continuous improvement in that product. And how this can happen? This can happen only when the management, that means the leadership team, has to be deeply involved in that. There has to be a proper process. That's what I was trying to say a couple of minutes back. The upstream and downstream processes that should be robust. The system, that means it should be system driven. It should not be man specific. Today I'm working in a company and I'm doing good job. Tomorrow someone else come at my place and probably he start doing something else. That is not system, that is man specific. So there has to be a proper system that anyone works in the organization. It should be driven by the system so that he can deliver the right product, he can process the right product. Okay. And the last thing is people. There has to be a people involvement, active people participation to make that product defect free, to meet the customer specification. And ultimately all these four pillars means management, process, system, people, everyone has to support to get the customer satisfaction. And after that, the total quality comes, right? So this is the basic model of total quality management, or TQM. So is this clear to all?
Yes, you can continue.
So am I making sense here?
Yeah. Sure,
I'm not hearing from anyone.
I guess participants will ask the questions in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. So after that, I'll touch upon another aspect of quality, which is called cost of poor quality. Okay. So everything needs a cost. We all know that, right? So as quality. Okay. So now what is cost of poor quality? Who has to pay this cost of poor quality, right? How we can avoid that? Let's talk about that. So all the costs incurred to help the employee do his or her job right every time, and the cost of determining if the output is acceptable, plus any cost incurred by the company and the customer because the output did not meet specifications and customer expectation. Again, two things are important here, as I discussed previously. One is the specification, another is the customer expectation, that is defect free product. So any cost involved around that is called cost of poor quality. Now there are four components of cost of poor quality. Number one is called prevention cost. What is prevention cost? The cost of any action taken to investigate, prevent, or reduce defects and failures. See what happens, we do a lot of work and we try not to generate the defect or to reduce the defect. For example, I'm working in a company and I'm putting my effort so that defect should not get generated. Means I'm trying to prevent the defect. So any cost involved around this is called prevention cost, right? The another type of cost is appraisal cost. What is this? The cost of assessing the quality mainly during first time through. Means I am making a new product. Let's say I'm making a mobile phone, right? Before launching it to the market, I'm trying to ensure that it should not give any defect to customer when I deliver it to the market. So that means I'm beforehand I'm trying to do some I'm doing some investment in the lab. Okay, I'm taking this component, I'm trying to assess the cost, means how it can affect the customer. So any kind of cost before delivering the product or assessing is called appraisal cost. Another type of cost here is internal field failure, right? So what happens, I have made a mobile phone internally, and before launching it to the market I wanted to test it, and it got failed for some reason. Okay, so these kind of costs are called internal field failure. That means this got captured during my internal processes. Okay, and the last component is external field failure. I have launched this mobile phone to the market, and for some reason it gets failed. So any kind of cost involved around this are called external field failures. Okay, so these four costs comes under COPQ bucket. Now you can see one chart here, cost of poor quality. There are two components to it. One is called cost of doing things right. The another is called cost of not doing things right. Means the important thing here is if I am doing something right, but that is preventing me to deliver any defect free product, will also come under cost of poor quality, right? So this needs to be understood very, very clearly. Any cost which I'm putting on to avoid the defect is also a cost of poor quality, right? So the four component what I spoke just now, the two component comes under the bucket of cost of doing things right. That means prevention cost and appraisal cost. The another two component like internal field failure and external field failure comes under cost of not doing things right. That means these costs have been incurred. Why? Because I have not done something correctly beforehand. That is the reason these costs are getting incurred. That is the reason these failures are happening, either inside my premises or outside. Okay. The another topic here is indirect poor quality cost. Now who has to bear this cost, and what can happen, what will happen if I'm not maintaining a good quality? Number one, customer incurred cost comes under indirect poor quality cost. Customer dissatisfaction cost. So if your customer is dissatisfied, that also comes under cost of poor quality. Why? Because if your customer is dissatisfied, he would not like to buy the product anymore, isn't it? He would not like to share his good opinion about this product to others, which is called word of mouth, right? So most of the products or services are getting sold by word of mouth. Many of you might be knowing this. So if my customer is dissatisfied, although I'm not going to incur any direct cost, it is going to hit me indirectly. Okay. Last one is loss of reputation cost. Okay. Reputation cost means, for example, I'll take example of Tata Motors here. Tata Motors has made a product called Tata Nano, right? This is a very, very common example for everyone. So probably in initial lot, Tata Motors Nano got failed. Okay. So that's a loss to reputation. The brand image, the Tata brand, such a big brand, got a reputation loss. It's not a direct cost, but it's a reputation loss which comes under indirect cost due to poor quality. Okay. So at the end, dissatisfied customer will become ill ambassador who undermine our company's reputation, help competition take our business that would otherwise be ours. This is a very, very powerful point here. Since I have lost my customer because of their dissatisfaction, because of my reputation loss, probably my competitor will win here, right? They will get one advantage. So this is how cost of poor quality impacts us. So I'll now stop here, although I have a couple of more topics, but I think if I need to see time, probably I'll wrap up here, and I would like to take a couple of questions before I move forward or before I end.
any of the participants have any question, they can go ahead and ask it. Feel free to ask the questions, clarify your doubts.
Bhupesh, can I ask him?
Yeah, sure, sure.
But he is not visible.
Uh,
His video is not there.
yeah, Santoshi, you can turn on your camera.
Yes, yeah. Let me try to switch on my camera. Just give me a second.
Can you hear Mr. Kumar?
Yeah, I can. You please go ahead by the time I'm trying to switch on my camera, please.
You said you are working with a locomotive manufacturer, is it?
Yeah.
Then this TQM, how do you apply in locomotive manufacturing? Because I think there are thousands of parts in the locomotive. I think that is electric motor locomotive.
Yes, I'll take your question. Can you see me? I've switched on my video camera. Okay, so I don't know why the video is not coming. So
Yeah,
what's your good
it
name,
is
sir?
coming now.
The voice is coming. Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
The voice is coming. Okay.
Okay, fine. So you rightly said, sir, that there are a lot of components which goes into a locomotive, and I'm working with diesel locomotive, not electric locomotive.
Okay.
So yeah, so there are thousands of component goes inside a locomotive. That's a very good question you have. But the meaning of total quality means the entire organization has to be focused towards giving a good product to customer. In my case, the customer is Indian Railways here, right?
Yeah.
So let me try to answer you a little differently. So there is a quality function in the organization, right?
Okay.
And there are different functions.
Mm.
Okay, like there is a sourcing function, there is HR function, there is operations team, there is maintenance team, there is what
No,
else?
I am talking of the final product, that is a locomotive. You have to be ensured. You have to ensure the quality of each and every part of that locomotive. It might be
Yes, sir.
thousand.
Yes, sir. So that's why I said it comes under total quality. Why? Because it's not only quality job here. The entire organization, the entire function is aligned towards that. Okay, so we have designed our process in such a way that even if in our unconscious mind the quality is on top of everyone's mind, so that has been built in the system. I don't need to stand every time on the floor. I don't need to go behind everyone asking, hey, you have to make good quality, hey, this component is good or bad, right? So somehow that has been built in the system that it has to come out in a good way. Even if I'm sleeping, someone is working, they have to deliver a product. So that has been built in the system of the organization. That is what is called total quality.
That means you have a system of quality control. That's why
Exactly.
Tata are so much have a reputation of that quality. I think so.
Yes, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
I am very happy that I am hearing from a Tata, the person who is connected with Tatas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So any more question, please?
Yeah, please. Now your video is coming.
It's coming, but I'm not able to see my video.
It is coming to my mobile.
Okay, but I'm not able to see you. Any what's your good name?
Myself, Harshvardhan Vyas. I am from Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh.
Oh, okay, good. Nice talking to Mr. Vyas. So, any more questions, please?
Feel free to clarify your doubts, or if any part of the presentation was not clear, people can go ahead and clarify it.
So probably I think most of them are students in this class, I believe. So I'm not sure how many people have were able to capture what I said, because most of the things are related to industry, working and all. But quality, as I said, is something what we all are looking for, right? So this is one of the common topic which we all are aware.
Yeah, yeah. Quality
Yeah.
has to be everywhere, no matter it is industry, academia, or like any
Yes.
part. Any part.
Exactly. So if there is no question, then probably I need to uh, stop here. Okay.
Yeah, if
And
you
what I
want
can
to
do,
wrap up, can wrap up.
sure. So later on also, Bhupesh, if anyone is having any kind of question, you can just let me know over email
Yeah,
or over phone, WhatsApp.
sure, sure,
Okay, I'll be
sure.
happy to answer.
Yeah,
Okay. And
yeah,
I'll be sending these pages to you so that you can circulate this within the team for reference.
yeah, sure, sure. It was a pleasure having you here today, and it was such a nice, vibrant, and knowledgeable presentation. And we look forward to hearing from you again. And if anyone or any of the participants will have any questions, then surely we'll love to connect with you again.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, everyone.
thank you so much. So we have with us Mobani now. Mobani,
Uh, Somebody needs to stop the screen sharing.
yeah, I'll make that happen. Yeah, I guess it's fine now.
Yeah, all's good.
So you may take over.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Uh, I joined midway, so I'm here to first introduce Harshvardhan sir. He's here. Today we have an expert who has so many years of expertise behind him. I welcome Harshvardhan sir. He retired from MPEB in 2013 after serving for about 32 years. He's still actively involved with his hobbies even after his retirement. Reading regularly and writing is included in his list of hobbies. He's also an amateur photographer, Reiki master, energy auditor, and has a diploma in business management. He also passed Urdu certified course from Jamia Millia Islamia, and he is a handwriting analyst by choice. So I think these few words don't do justice to all of the expertise and the knowledge that he possesses. And I will request you, sir, to please take over from here.
Thank you, Mopani. I will speak. Of course, I will speak in Hindi.
Sure,
Will it
sir.
go?
Sure,
go?
sir, definitely.
Okay. Thank you very much. So kind of you. So you have praised like anything. I am not of that caliber, at least.
Sir, this is not a praise. This was just a brief introduction of yours.
Oh no, it is more than introduction, I think.
So please.
Thank you so much. Shall I start?
Sure, sir, sure.
And आज का विषय है कि how to write a biography. हाँ तो ये मैं आजकल रिटायर्ड लाइफ जबलपुर मध्य प्रदेश के जबलपुर शहर में व्यतीत कर रहा हूँ. पढ़ने का मुझे बहुत शौक है. हाँ तो बायोग्राफी कैसे लिखते हैं, बड़ी सीधी सी बात है. कैन एवरीबॉडी हियर ना? आवाज सब तक जा रही है ना?
Yes, sir.
यस सर, आवाज सब तक जा रही है? ओके ओके.
Yes, sir.
हाँ तो मैं शुरू करता हूँ कि कैसे लिखते हैं। देखिए, आप बचपन से आपको माता पिता ने सिखाया है कि कैसे लिखते हैं। आप एक पूरा कागज ले लीजिए, हाथ में पेन पकड़ लीजिए और लिखना शुरू कर दीजिए। क्या कठिनाई है बताइए लिखने में आपको? आप बस अपने विचारों को लिखना शुरू करिए। लेकिन रुकिए, 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 रुकिए। आप क्या लिखेंगे, कैसे लिखेंगे, कितना लिखेंगे, इस पर विचार किया जाना चाहिए। हमेशा विचार किया जाना चाहिए। आप मानते हैं ना कि इस बात पर विचार होना चाहिए, अवश्य होना चाहिए। क्या आप जानते हैं कि आपके मस्तिष्क में कम से कम 24 घंटे में लाखों विचार आते आया जाया करते हैं? जी हाँ, 24 घंटे की बात मैं इसलिए कर रहा हूँ आपसे, क्योंकि आप जब नींद में होते हैं तो जो सपने आते हैं वो आपके विचार का आईना होते हैं। तो आप, लेकिन ये बड़ा मुश्किल होता है कि जैसे मैं 4-5 विचार अपने याद रख सकता हूँ, हो सकता है आप लोग मुझसे ज्यादा 20-22 याद रख पाते हो। लेकिन अगर आप ये 4 विचार भी जो मेरे को याद रहते हैं, अगर मैंने किसी पन्ने पर, किसी डायरी में, किसी कॉपी में नहीं लिखे हैं, तो ये सारे के सारे गोल हो जाते हैं। इसलिए जैसे ही आपके मन में कोई विचार आए, उसको, उसकी 1 लाइन, 2 लाइन, 4 लाइन आप अवश्य लिख लें। अब कितना और कैसे लिखा जाना चाहिए, इसके बारे में एक किसी ने बहुत मजेदार बात कही है कि आपका लेखन एक मिनी स्कर्ट की तरह होना चाहिए, जो कि सब्जेक्ट को तो पूरी तरह ढाक ले, लेकिन तब भी उत्सुकता बनी रहे। जोक सपाट। आपको तमाम किस्म के विचारों के लिए आपको बहुत बहुत आवश्यक है कि आप पढ़िए, खूब पढ़िए। आपको तरह तरह के विचार आएंगे, आपके सोचने का दायरा बढ़ जाएगा, आपके विचारों में मौलिकता आएगी, आपके विचारों में नवीनता भी आती रहेगी। साथ ही आप जब किसी का जीवन चरित्र लिखें, किसी की बायोग्राफी लिखें, तो वो वैसे ही है कि जब आप, जैसे आप किसी की कहानी पढ़ रहे हो, तो आपके लेखन में वो चीज आनी चाहिए कि फ्लो बराबर बना रहे। अगर फ्लो बना रहेगा तो पाठकों को मजा आएगा और वो आपको वाह वाह कर रही है। आप जिनकी भी बायोग्राफी लिखना चाहते हैं, मान लीजिए किसी संगीतज्ञ की लिखना चाहते तो आपको थोड़ा बहुत ज्ञान उसमें संगीत के बारे में होना चाहिए, जरूर होना चाहिए, क्योंकि तभी आप उस बात को समझ पाएंगे जो वो कह रहे हैं। दूसरी बात, आप मान लीजिए किसी लेखक की बायोग्राफी लिखना चाहते हैं, तो आपको उनके लेख लिखे हुए पढ़ना चाहिए, उनके बारे में आपको पता करना चाहिए। और तीसरी बात, अगर मान लीजिए कोई पब्लिक फिगर है, तो उनके बारे में तो रेडियो पर, टीवी पर, अखबारों में इतना आता है कि आप उसको आसानी से उनके बारे में जानकारी ले सकते हैं। तो ये तो हुआ आपके लिखने का बैकग्राउंड। दूसरी बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बात आपको हमेशा याद रखनी चाहिए, क्या, कि जिनका आप बायोग्राफी लिखना चाहते हैं, उनकी एक अनुमति अवश्य ले लें। साथ ही अगर आपने उनकी बायोग्राफी लिखी, उसको एक बार दिखा भी सकते हैं उनको कि मैंने ये लिखा है, आप देख लीजिए। इससे क्या होता है, भविष्य का मान लीजिए कोई विवाद हो, कोई झगड़ा झंटा सामने आए, तो आप उससे बरी रह सकते हैं। और यदि संभव हो, यदि आपको संभव हो, तो आप उस व्यक्ति का इंटरव्यू ले लीजिए, उससे बहुत फायदा रहता है। एक तो आपकी बायोग्राफी प्रामाणिक हो जाती है और आपके मन में भी यह स्पष्ट विचार हो जाता है कि उनकी बायोग्राफी क्यों लिखना चाहते हैं आप। इससे भूमिकाएं लिखने में बड़ी आसानी रहती है। वैसे तो किसी की भी बायोग्राफी लिखने का बड़ा सरल और आसान तरीका मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि आप अपनी जिंदगी के बारे में सोचिए, आप अपने आप अपने जीवन की घटनाओं के बारे में सोचिए और फिर विचार करिए कि आप अपने जीवन के बारे में क्या लिख सकते हैं, आप अपने जीवन के बारे में कितना लिख सकते हैं, आप अपने जीवन के बारे में क्या लिख पाएंगे। अगर ये सब आपने तय कर लिया अपने जीवन के बारे में, तो ये किसी भी व्यक्ति के लिए बायोग्राफी लिखने का आधार बन जाएगा। व्यक्ति के जन्म स्थान का भी वर्णन लिखिए और उसकी अगर जन्म स्थान की कोई विशेषता हो, उसको अवश्य लिखें, उसको बताना ना भूलें। जैसे मैं जबलपुर में रहता हूँ, जबलपुर की बहुत सारी विशेषताएं हैं। यहाँ पे रानी दुर्गावती का किला है, नदी बहती है, बड़ा भारी यहाँ पर वाटरफॉल है, बहुत ऊंची ऊंची चट्टाने हैं संगमरमर की। तो ये सब विशेषताएं हैं इस शहर। अब आप उनकी जन्म तारीख तो अवश्य आपको उल्लेख करना चाहिए। कैसे, मान लीजिए उनकी तारीख आपको 25 दिसंबर पड़ती है, तो आपको आप और हम सभी जानते हैं कि वो दिन ईसा मसीह के जन्मदिन का रहता है। लेकिन आप जानते हैं क्या, ये वही दिन पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री माननीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी का भी जन्मदिन होता है। फिल्म के ग्रेट म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर नौशाद साहब का भी जन्मदिन होता है। और जो आजकल स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन है मिस्टर राजू श्रीवास्तव, उनका भी ये एक उनका भी जन्मदिन 25 दिसंबर को आता है। अब उनका, अब आप पता करिए कि उनका बचपन किस प्रकार से बीता, उससे उसका उनकी शिक्षा दीक्षा किस प्रकार से हुई, स्कूल में, प्राइमरी स्कूल में कहाँ पर पढ़े, हाई स्कूल में कहाँ पर पढ़े, या कॉलेज कौन से में पढ़े, और उस पढ़ने के दौरान उनको कोई उपलब्धि हासिल हुई हो, कोई इनाम मिले हो, उसका विवरण भी अवश्य दिया जाना चाहिए। सामान्य तौर पर क्या होता है कि जब हम स्टूडेंट रहते हैं तो लोगों के, हमारे टीचर्स का हमारे ऊपर बहुत गहरा असर रहता है। अगर उनके जीवन में कोई ऐसा टीचर आया हो जिसका प्रभाव उनके ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा पड़ा हो, तो उसका उल्लेख भी अवश्य करें। यदि उनके जीवन में कोई अभाव रहा हो, मान लीजिए किसी गरीब परिस्थिति से बढ़ के आगे बढ़े हों, या उल्टा भी हो, किसी बड़ी लेविश लाइफ जी के आगे बढ़े हों, तो दोनों का वर्णन किया जा सकता है। व्यक्ति के जीवन में प्रमुख घटनाओं का बहुत संक्षिप्त वर्णन होना चाहिए। जैसे कि उनके जीवन में कुछ घटना ऐसी घटी होगी जो उनके जीवन में बढ़ गए, उनके जीवन में पूरा चेंज ला दिया होगा, उनके जीवन की धारा ही बदल गई होगी। ऐसी घटनाएं सभी के जीवन में घटती है, मेरे जीवन में भी घटी है, आपके जीवन में घटी, सभी के जीवन में घटती है। मैं एक ऐसे व्यक्ति को जानता हूँ जिन्होंने कि अपना स्कूल लाइफ में बायो सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा, बायोलॉजी पढ़ा। आप लेकिन बायोलॉजी पढ़ लिया, फिर बीएससी भी कर लिया, पीएमटी भी दिया, लेकिन पीएमटी में सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ। एक दिन बैठे बैठे उन सज्जन के मन में विचार आया कि अगर मैं हाई स्कूल एक बार फिर से गणित लेकर पढ़ लूं, तो उन्होंने गणित लिया, मेहनत की, पढ़े, इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में गए, इंजीनियर बन गए। तो इंजीनियर बन गया, अब आजकल क्या कर रहे हैं मुझे नहीं मालूम, लेकिन उन्होंने अपनी जो दिशा थी वो 180 डिग्री से पूरी चेंज कर उनके जीवन की विभिन्न उपलब्धियां, क्या अचीवमेंट्स रहे उनके, क्या इनामात मिले उनको, क्या सम्मान, किसी संस्था ने उनको क्या सम्मान दिया, इसके बारे में आपको जरूर लिखना चाहिए। ये सम्मान मिलने का और इसके पीछे का संघर्ष पाठकों को बड़ी प्रेरणा देता है, क्योंकि हम सब जानते हैं मानव अच्छाइयों, बुराइयों, कमियों, खूबियों सभी का मिलना जुलना सम्मिश्रण है। यदि ऐसी कोई कमी हो, जैसे मेरी कमी मुझे मालूम है, मैं उसको आपको बता सकता हूँ, हो सकता है आप में से कोई उससे प्रेरित होकर आगे बढ़ जाए, उस कमी को दूर कर सके अपने आप। तो यह सोने में सुहागा का काम करता है। कहने का मतलब यह है कि जिस व्यक्ति की बायोग्राफी आप लिखना चाहते हैं, उसके बारे में रिसर्च करिए। री मतलब फिर से, और सर्च मतलब सर्च यानी खोजबीन। आप उनके बारे में लेख पढ़िए, उनके आलेखों का अध्ययन करिए, उनके बारे में अखबार, रेडियो, टीवी पर जो भी जानकारी मिले उसको एकत्र करते चलें। यहाँ पे मेरा रिसर्च का मतलब है कि आप उनके बारे में अपने दृष्टिकोण से खोजें। जो कुछ भी जानकारी आपको चाहिए है वो अपने दृष्टिकोण से लें, और अगर आप उनका इंटरव्यू ले सकते हैं तो इससे बेहतर तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता। बहुत बढ़िया है कि अगर आप इंटरव्यू लेंगे तो उसको, इसके माध्यम से आप उस व्यक्ति के बारे में बहुत गहराई से जान सकेंगे। हाँ, एक बात जरूर मैं कहना चाहता हूँ, जो बायोग्राफी लिखने वाले राइटर्स हैं उनके को बिटवीन द लाइंस पढ़ना आना चाहिए। बिटवीन द लाइंस कैसे, कि आदमी क्या कह रहा है और उसका मीनिंग क्या है, आप क्या कहना चाहता है और वो क्या कहना चाहेगा, ये आपको समझ में आना चाहिए। वो कहेगा नहीं, लेकिन आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि वो क्या कहना चाहता है। तो ये, हालांकि ये जगह वो वाली नहीं है कि जिसमें बिटवीन द लाइंस के बारे में ज्यादा बात करें। अच्छा, अब दूसरी बात आ गई, व्यक्ति के जीवन में घटी हुई घटनाएं, अच्छी अथवा बुरी, इनका समयवार विवरण होना चाहिए, क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में होना चाहिए। जिनसे उन्होंने कोई सबक सीखा हो, या ऐसे जीवन में कोई हादसे जिनसे उनके जीवन में आमूलचूल परिवर्तन हो गया हो, जहां तक संभव हो विवरण क्रोनोलॉजिकल दें, यानी पहले घटी हुई घटना पहले, उसके बाद में घटी हुई घटना बाद में, उसके सबसे बाद में घटी हुई घटना अंत। लेकिन इसका एक और पहलू भी है कि मान लीजिए उनके जीवन की जो घटनाएं हैं, उनसे उन्होंने जो सबक सीखा है उनको आप एक साथ लिख दीजिए। और दूसरी जो घटनाएं उन्होंने, वो घटनाएं जिनसे उनकी जीवन की दिशा बदल गई, उनको एक साथ लिख दीजिए। ये सब कुछ आपके लिखने के कौशल पे निर्भर करता है कि आप किस बात को कैसे प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं, कितना प्रेजेंट करना चाहते हैं, और क्या क्या लिखना चाहते हैं। आप जिस व्यक्ति की बायोग्राफी आप लिख रहे हैं, उनके जीवन में घटित ऐसी घटना जो साधारणतः पाठकों, सभी पाठकों के काम आए, उसका विवरण अवश्य दें। उसका विवरण देना बहुत जरूरी भी है। उनके कोई आदर्श रहे हों, आमतौर पर सबके माता पिता अपने अपने आदर्श होते हैं। उनके कोई शिक्षक रहे हों, कोई संगीत वाले हैं, तो आमतौर पर उनके गुरु उसके प्रेरणा स्रोत रहते हैं। इस प्रकार से उनका विवरण थोड़ा बहुत दिया जाना चाहिए। आपने भी अपने जीवन में कई बायोग्राफीज पढ़ी होंगी, मैंने भी बहुत सारी पढ़ी है। उनमें से सर्वश्रेष्ठ आत्मकथा बायोग्राफी जो मुझे लगी वो डॉक्टर हरिवंश राय जी बच्चन। उन्होंने बहुत ही सहज ढंग से, ईमानदारी से अपने जीवन की अच्छी बुरी सभी घटनाओं का वर्णन किया है। अपने प्रसिद्ध पुत्र अमिताभ बच्चन का उपयोग उन्होंने इतना ही किया है जितना कि उनके जीवन में उसका महत्व होगा, या जितना कि उनके जीवन में उनका वो आवश्यक होगा। क्योंकि मैं ऐसा मानता हूँ कि बच्चन जी का खुद का व्यक्तित्व उनके पुत्र के व्यक्तित्व से बहुत ऊंचा, महान था। दूसरी बात जो मुझे अच्छी लगी वो महात्मा गांधी जी सत्य के प्रयोग। सत्य के प्रयोग में उन्होंने इतना ईमानदार वर्णन किया है अपने जीवन का, और पूरा का पूरा गांधीयन फिलॉसफी से भरपूर है। फिलॉसफी मेरा प्रिय सब्जेक्ट भी है, इसलिए भी है। मैंने उनके जीवन से एक बात जरूर सीखने की कोशिश की। अब मैं कितना सफल रहा है मैं नहीं जानता, ये तो सामने वाला देखेगा। उनकी समय की पाबंदी, समय की पाबंदी के लिए वो किस वक्त घूमने जाते थे, किस वक्त वो लोगों से मिला करते थे, किस वक्त वो लोगों के पत्रों के जवाब दिया करते थे, किस समय अपने सेवाग्राम की में सेवा करते थे। तो हर चीज का उनका समय फिक्स था। इस प्रकार से एक समय की पाबंदी का उनसे मैंने बहुत लिखा। लेकिन अंग्रेजी की कहावत मैं हमेशा याद रखता हूँ, इफ यू आर इन टाइम, इफ यू आर इन टाइम देयर इज नो वन टू अप्रिशिएट। क्योंकि उस वक्त कोई पहुंचता ही नहीं है आजकल समय। खैर, फिर भी एक बायोग्राफी का और जिक्र मैं करना चाहता हूँ जो विवेकानंद जी के जीवन पर आधारित। नाम था उसका पूछ अनोखा जायो। वो इसके लेखक नरेंद्र कोहली जी थे। अब मैं कह सकता हूँ थे, क्योंकि आज ही उनकी मृत्यु का समाचार मुझे मिला है। ये सारी पुस्तकें मुझे गाहे बगाहे प्रेरणा देती रहती है। अब बायोग्राफी का समापन आप कैसे करना चाहेंगे? मेरी नजर में ऐसा करिए कि अपने दृष्टिकोण युक्त, अपने विचारों से इस बायोग्राफी का अंत एक बहुत ही बढ़िया अंदाजे बयान। तो व्यक्ति के बारे में आपने क्या सीखा, आपके अपने क्या विचार हैं, आपको कोई सबक मिला, ऐसी कोई बात, ऐसा कोई सबक, ऐसा कोई उदाहरण जो पाठकों के लिए एक नसीहत हो, एक शिक्षा का काम करे, अवश्य दें। एक बात अंत में अवश्य लिखना चाहेंगे कि आपने फला व्यक्ति को ही बायोग्राफी लिखने के लिए क्यों चुना। मैं कहता हूँ कि एक्स को लिखिए, आप कहते हैं नहीं वाई को लिखिए, तो आपके पास उसका कारण होना चाहिए कि आप उन्हीं की बायोग्राफी क्यों लिखना चाहते हैं। उपसंहार में आपके लेखकी कौशल का फिर परीक्षण होगा। जहां जहां आपके अपने विचार आएंगे, आपके लेखकी कौशल का हमेशा परीक्षण होगा, और लेखन में धीरे धीरे निखार आता जाएगा। अपनी बात को विराम देने के पूर्व में डॉक्टर हरिवंश राय बच्चन जी का एक जीवन सूत्र आपको देना चाहता हूँ, जो उनके मिलेनियम सितारे अमिताभ बच्चन कई जगहों पर दोहराते हैं कि मन का चाहा हो अगर हो जाए तो अच्छा, लेकिन यदि मन का चाहा ना हो तो और भी अच्छा, क्योंकि तब उसमें ईश्वर की मर्जी शामिल रहती है, जो न किसी का बुरा सोच सकता है न किसी का बुरा कर सकता है। मैंने जो बातें कही उनमें उनको मैं संक्षेप रूप में इस प्रकार कह सकता हूँ। पहली चीज तो भूमिका, आपने कारण लिखा। दूसरा, उस व्यक्ति के बारे में जो रिसर्च की वो लिखी। आपने व्यक्ति की अनुमति प्राप्त की या नहीं, व्यक्ति का साक्षात्कार आप ले पाए या नहीं ले। ये कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि वो आदमी इंटरव्यू के लिए व्यक्ति तैयार हो जाए। फिर जीवन की दिशा परिवर्तन करने वाली घटनाएं, फिर जीवन के सबक सिखाने वाली घटनाएं, फिर ऐसा कोई सबक जो कॉमन सभी पाठकों के लिए उपयोगी हो, और उपसंहार इसमें आप अपने विचार दे सकते हैं। ये मैंने इसको ऐसा लिखा हुआ है, ये क्या दिखाया जा सकता लोगों को, दिखा दीजिए। धन्यवाद भूपेश जी, मोहन जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं इतना ही कहना चाहता हूँ।
थैंक यू सो मच सर। एंड आपने इतना अच्छा रिसर्च तो किया ही, साथ में इतना अच्छा एक्सप्लेन किया कि पार्टिसिपेंट्स को तो समझ में आया ही होगा। मैं भी सुन रही थी, मुझे भी समझ में आया। एंड मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था भी आपसे कि आपके हिसाब से कौन सा सबसे अच्छा बायोग्राफी होगा, व्हाट विल बी योर फेवरेट। एंड आपने बताया हरिवंश राय बच्चन के बारे में, उनका तो हाँ है ही। तो anybody of the participants who have any question they can ask. उर्वी ने कहा है कि सर बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया आपने, बिल्कुल मेरी बात। और और yes, biography is something that needs to be understood in depth because we make mistakes, silly mistakes while writing a biography, and especially of someone who is alive. Sir gave very valid points saying that you should make sure to increase the validity of your biography. If you can get an interview of the person, that will be great. And if you can have, show that biography when you write, after you write you can get it corrected if the person is alive. So
मोहन जी, मैं एक बात और कहना चाहता हूँ।
sure sir, sure.
जब आप एक बार उसको लिख लें तो आप उसको अपनी ओर से जोर जोर से पढ़िए। आपके कान में वो सुन के कैसी लग रही है, अगर आपको जम गई तो अच्छी है, अदरवाइज उसमें आपको कोई चेंज करना हो चेंज करिए। मेरे को 5 बार लिखना पड़ता है, ये मैं जानता हूँ, 5 times.
No sir, it's true because you cannot, if you are satisfied with your own work at some point of time, then the write up is ready, otherwise it's not. So we write one time, then we edit twice, thrice and multiple times, it goes on.
ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, एक ग्रेट फिलोसोफर थे डॉक्टर लॉर्ड बर्टन रसल। he used to write very small sentences, one word, one verb, one predicate, something like this, small sentences. and वो कहते थे कि आप जितनी बार पढ़ोगे ये निबंध उतनी बार बदल जाएगा।
Right, so true.
Always it is improving.
And you have to be interested. If you think it was your biography, if you'd be that happy, then you can move forward with it. So yes, thank you so much sir, it was a lovely and informative session and I hope all the participants are enjoying. There's a question from Supriya. She says, I have one question. In your eyes, who is the renowned biographer till now? कोई ऐसा बायोग्राफर जो आपके हिसाब से बहुत अच्छा लिखा हो, जिसकी बायोग्राफी राइटिंग बहुत
मैंने तो बताया है कि बच्चन जी हैं।
सर बच्चन जी ने तो अपने बारे में ही लिखा होगा, वो तो ऑटोबायोग्राफी हो गई। किसी बायोग्राफर ने अगर किसी और के बारे में लिखा हो, वो आपको अच्छा लगा?
मैं देखिए हिंदी के मैगजीन ज्यादा पढ़ता हूँ। नेताजी की जिसने बायोग्राफी लिखी है ना, हरीश भिमानी, ही इज वेरी गुड, वेरी नाइस।
ओके सर, ये रिकमेंडेशन है, पीपल शुड गो आउट देयर एंड रीड दैट बुक so that you can understand what actually a biographer should do, and it will help you in your writing skills as well. So thank you so much sir. Anybody?
हरीश भिमानी हरीश जी को ये सुविधा दे दी है, लता जी से बार-बार बात कर सकते थे, बस ये फर्क है।
जी। So anybody else, any questions?
Yes, always welcome. Even after so many years I will answer it.
That's the talent that you have, the knowledge.
हर्षवर्धन जी, very informative और बहुत ही informative session था, और जो भी आपने explain किया उसको apply करने के लिए जरूर try करेंगे in future, और बहुत ही अच्छे से आपने हर एक चीज explain की। बहुत thank you so much.
Thank you so much sir. Okay, so moving on, I went through so many articles that our interns submitted, and today I thought let's discuss the positive points of those articles. So there in the feedback, I'll share my screen and you can all have a look at the feedback of your own articles. So let me share the screen. Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first article was top 10 best manga websites by Disha. And Disha, it was extremely well researched, described, and executed. I really was very impressed with the research that you put behind. And the analysis done was unbiased. That is very much required because while you are writing something, people can tend to become biased to describe a particular favorite website or a place. So you did it in an unbiased way, and that was the best part. And correct grammar usage made the article quite impressive. So well done on that. Next was of Nidhi. She wrote on the top 10 free people search engine websites to use in 2021. Now there are so many of them, so many websites out there, and 2021 again, like we are shut down in our houses, we need these websites. And she wrote in very free flowing word usage was there, simple and neat words, and you need to explain a bit more about the website. That will be great because the explanations were a little short. It would be great if you explained it a little bit more because the reading was so nice that we wanted to read more. As a reader, if I am to judge, I would have wanted to read more about it. So you can take this as a feedback from me. And then Irisha and Sanya wrote on similar topics, very similar to each other. And about Irisha's article, it was nicely classified and the explanation was done very nicely. Good that both the disadvantages and the advantages were discussed, because sometimes we are so involved with the advantages that we skip the disadvantages altogether. So she used both of it, and that enhanced the article that she had made. And about Sanya's, it was definitely a unique topic to discuss, and she effectively explained what she was actually trying to put forward, and it was nicely divided into segments. So a person who goes on a website, clicks on it, and reads, he or she will find it very helpful. So Sanya, that was my feedback for your article. And then there was a article of quality management written by Sneha. Explanation through flowcharts made it very effective. Lots of people think that people get bored if you continuously keep writing and writing in paragraphs. People tend to get bored, but she used flowcharts to explain her article, and that made it very effective. And she had divided the article into very small subdivisions that can easily lead the person to exact position of what he's trying to search. And good use of English. So, Sneha, that was my feedback for your article. Then Deep wrote an article on solutions to obstacles behind unlimited clean energy. And there was an abstract for this article, and this was something that I had not found in any other. So this attracted me as well. And scientifically, he linked the article to science. So literature getting combined with science was a quite an effective thing. Easy language usage, no ornamental languages used. So that was also a good part, and the concept was explained quite nicely. Then power bank, the useful equipment to power failure. Irisha wrote on this topic, and she again mentioned the advantages and disadvantages of that device. So it was neatly taken into account. Simple language usage was it enhanced the understanding of that topic, because lots of people don't even know what a power bank is or what does it do. So her language was quite simple and easy enough to understand, and it was well researched. Now, Sanya wrote on IPL special quiz, and this was something that was out of the box because it was made in the form of a quiz, and a current topic of IPL was covered in a very interesting way. The quiz was on the current topic and it makes it very effective and very good command on English. So great work there, Sanya.
Thank you,
Then
ma'am.
okay, okay, you are here, Sanya. Great. Then I had a short story from Shweta, The Possessed Mind. It was a very nice story with a message. That's the best part. When you read a story and you find a message at the end, that really helps you to learn something as you get entertained. So it was a nice story with a message, simple and lucid storytelling, and it was quite impactful. So, Shweta, your story was quite a nice read. Then Urvi wrote a poem, Growing Up. As I write poems too, this was very close to my heart when I was reading it. A good example of free verse poetry, a topic which a reader could connect to, and the aesthetic sense was really very nicely captured in the poem. So, great work, Urvi. Now I had the book review of The Life of Pi. Shweta, it was really nicely summarized. Reference quotes were used out of the book. So it helps the reader know that you have actually read that book. So it helped and it was quite effective and very well explained. It had a summary and everything. So yes, the book review was quite nicely done. Then there was a blog, Importance of a Balanced Diet for a Prosperous Life. Irisha wrote on it, and benefits and functions of having a proper balanced diet was very nicely explained. Simple use of English language and subdivisions made the article quite attractive. When you use subdivisions, it's easier to identify what exactly the person is searching for. And Irisha did it in a very nice way. Then Shweta wrote a biography on Arunima Sinha. So Arunima Sinha, I don't know, right? I don't know how many of you know her or have read about her. So it will be great if you read this biography by Shweta. It was an interest. It had a very interesting beginning to the article. It had questions. It had beginning. From the beginning, it was a beautiful build up of a story, and it was a very inspiring writer. So her beginning was actually something that really attracted me. She began with questions and beautiful way of starting an article. So yes, that was all the articles that I had or read through. I hope to get more articles soon. And Shweta, Irsha, and Sanya were the top interns who actually submitted a lot of articles. And it was so nice to read all of them. Uh, Great job by everyone. And I hope that you all continue writing so that I can read and provide my feedback to you all.
One more thing.
Sure, sir.
Mobani, one
Yes, sir.
more thing.
Sure.
And an elderly advice to you: don't go to the corona patient anymore. I have heard that you went to the somebody's father was expired and you went to that place. No, it is elderly advice. Don't go to any of corona patient for any reason. This is for you only. Nobody, can you hear me? Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can.
Thank you very much. I have enjoyed like anything. It was a very nice session.
Thank you, Harshvardhanji. I think Movani's network is
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
there's some problem in the
But
network.
is not that the video is not coming up.
Yeah, she's here now.
Yes, sir.
now you- And you didn't hear me?
No, sir, I could not hear you.
Okay. Just an elderly advice to Mobani
Sure,
only.
sure.
Please do not go to the any COVID patient for whatever the reason may be. I have
Yes,
heard
sir,
that
don't-
you went yesterday to someone.
No,
Please don't.
the body was not given, but yes, the family is negative. So yes, I went there.
No, but हम लोगों को बहुत डर लगता है.
It's risky.
We don't go anywhere, whatever the reason.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for the care.
And I
Okay.
enjoyed the session, whole session very nice. It was very nice. Thank you very much
And I
for
hope
calling me.
the participants enjoyed as well.
Yes, as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining. It was a really productive session that we had.
Some
And
of
let's
the
join it
participants
again.
have some of the issues. They're saying that they have
Sure,
submitted
sure.
some more articles.
I'll go through it.
Yeah.
I think I covered all of them, but yes, if I missed, you all can email me again so that I can go through.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you so much.
thank you. So nice of you. Thank you.